Depression affects us all, especially the ones you least expect it from.
So I have played lacrosse for about 6 years. I started in high school, freshman year. One of my friends got me into it. We were on the same soccer team, and she's like, "You should totally try lacrosse." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm up for anything. I love sports, so why not?" And then so I started playing freshman year, but I was playing as a field player. Then near the end of this season, we learned that they only had a goalie for one more year. So they're like, "We heard you play goalie in soccer. Would you like trying it in lacrosse?" And I'm like, "Okay." It's a lot different, but I guess. And so I tried it. I did pretty well, and then the next year I was on varsity. So I found out about BYU Idaho lacrosse my first spring semester up here. I knew they had it, but I kind of really didn't want to play because I was a little nervous about having to meet new people, and then I ended up getting one of my friends to play with me so that I wasn't super uncomfortable. My first semester playing, we had awesome coaches. They made it so much fun.
BYU Idaho strives to create a good experience that will keep the players coming back.
I got this call from the head, Serafina, and she was like, "Hey, we need coaches. You've been recommended to coach. Could you come in for an interview?" And I'm like, "I guess."
But coaching and being coached are very different.
My experience coaching sucked when it came to the whole organization of it, but when it came to the girls on my team, I loved it. Probably the most impacting thing that happened during that season was I was diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and I had really bad insomnia. I was probably getting 2 to 4 hours of sleep a night. So that caused a lot of issue because I couldn't eat. I think there would be days where I wouldn't eat, and then all my friends would notice. Then I finally kind of gave in and went to the doctor. Obviously, since I've been diagnosed, but I went to the doctor. They tried to treat me at first. They sent me to the counseling center, and after talking to the counselor, she was like, "So you probably have depression." It made things a lot worse. So the antidepressants kind of just screwed me up. I had gone a few days without eating, and having to go to lacrosse practice and try to participate, I never really had the energy to. I ended up starting to cut, and it got to the point where I told a friend, and I said I wanted to stop, and I did. It was at that it just felt good when I did it, and so I was like, it's really hard to stop. And then having to hide that from my players so that they couldn't see. I would always be wearing long sleeve shirts to try to hide it, because how awesome is it to be a coach and you're cutting yourself? That's totally not. I relied a lot on my assistant coach to help me. I met with this counselor, and he made it sound like cutting was okay. And so I'm just like, well, if it's okay, then why not? It makes me feel better, And it was hard. I would say that by the end of this season, I wasn't better, to be honest. I was still struggling a lot with a lot of different things. And then, I had made a little bit of progression, but not enough to I was still having the issues with cutting and stuff. But then after more time being on the meds and just this summer, it gave me a lot of time to just think about things and just think about all the people that I had in my life to do better for. I did end up slipping up, but it's now been, I think, 2 or 3 months since the last slip up, and I've been doing a lot better. And this semester, taking 14 credits, passing all my classes with A's and B's. And then I've even started working these past few weeks, and so I'm super busy all the time, which has helped a lot, I think, because it doesn't really give me much time to think about all the crappy things that happen. So I kind of try to focus more on the positive things.
No obstacle is too hard to overcome. Staying positive and working hard will yield incredible results. I'm Rachel Black, Rexburg, Idaho.